Imagine this. You are trapped in a small space and you can hardly move. Every day you are injected with chemicals, burned, or forced to take drugs. There is no end in sight and you don't know when or if this will ever stop. Now in real life you don't have to deal with this, but for millions of animals, this is something they have to suffer through. Before I researched this problem, I knew animal testing was horrible, but I didn't know how bad it actually is. The reality of the situation is that these animals have to go through the most horrifying ordeals every single day of their short lives. Today, I'm going to persuade you to help stop animal testing because the tests performed on these animals are painful, they live just to be experimented on, cures that work on animals sometimes don't even work on humans, and the fact that there are alternatives to testing on animals. Animal testing happens when scientists experiment on non-human animals for cosmetic or medical purposes. As stated on procon.org, quote, an estimated 26 million animals are used every year in the United States for scientific and commercial testing, end quote. Scientists use animals to test if the products or drugs they make are safe for humans, but most of the experiments are very painful and after the animals are usually killed. In fact, as per PETA.org, quote, of 1.8 million experiments completed in 2018, 94,000 were assessed as severe, including long-term disease processes or assistance with normal activities such as feeding and drinking are required, or significant deficits in behavior/activities persist, end quote. The only purpose of these animals' lives are for testing. They are born just to be examined and tested on in horrific ways. According to downtoearth.org, quote, animals endure chemicals being dripped into their eyes, injected into their bodies, forced up their nostrils, or forced down their throats. They are addicted to drugs, forced to inhale/ingest toxic substances, subjected to maternal deprivation, deafened, blinded, burned, stapled, and infected with diseases and viruses, end quote. If these animals live, they either go for another test or they are just killed. But sometimes, after all of these animals go through, the scientists think they have a cure or a solution to a problem, but it doesn't work the same way as on humans. As stated by NCBI, quote, however, 3 major conditions undermine this confidence and explain why animal experimentation, regardless of the disease category studied, fails to reliably inform human health. 1, the effects of the laboratory environment and other variables on study outcomes. 2, disparities between animal models of disease and human diseases. And 3, species differences in physiology and genetics, end quote. The genetics between these animals and humans are different, which means that a vaccine that might work on a mouse might not on a human. This leads to scientists having to start all over, and the lives of the animals that were tortured were for nothing except ruling out that one possibility. But animals aren't the only ways cures can be tested. There are alternatives to animal testing. As specified by humanesociety.org, quote, scientists at private companies, universities, and government agencies are developing new cell and tissue tests, computer models, and other sophisticated methods to replace existing animal tests. Though these alternatives are not only humane, they also tend to be more cost-effective, rapid, and reliable than traditional animal tests, quote, end quote. It takes time for these alternatives to be approved, but the ones that have been validated could save thousands, if not millions, of animal lives. Today, I persuaded you to help stop animal testing because of the painfulness and the lack of accuracy of these tests, the quality of these animals' lives, and the alternative measures that can be taken instead. In a world where there is plenty of pain and death, the ability to stop the suffering of millions of animals is something all of us should take action to do. Wouldn't it be a relief to know the next time you got a flu shot that numerous animals weren't harmed in the making? I think it would be, and you should too.